I think the milk's a little sour.
It's soy milk.
Huh?
You said you're lactose intolerant.
I did say that, didn't I? Thanks for remembering. Go to sleep. Merry Christmas, Sarah.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Hello and welcome back. This is the Legacy of Light, part of the Advent of Creativity brought to you by the Honor Society here at the LA Film School. I am Angel, I am your host, and today we are going to tap into a modern day holiday classic. Today's subject is 1994's The Santa Claus. The Santa Claus did something special, something unexpected. It reminded a whole generation how to believe again. Not just in Santa, but in magic, in second chances, and in each other. Tim Allen's Scott Calvin wasn't anyone's idea of a traditional Santa. He was cynical, work-focused, divorced, struggling to connect with his son, Charlie. And maybe that's why it worked. We were ready for a different kind of Christmas story. The early 90s weren't cynical yet, but they were changing. The world felt a little more complicated. Family looked different, grown-ups were tired, kids were trying to hold on to the magic just a little longer. The Santa Claus landed in the middle of all of that. It was sharp, funny, a little jaded, but underneath the sarcasm, it carried something surprisingly pure. It said, what if the most magical job in the world found the least likely person to do it, and then changed him? And Disney didn't play it safe with this one. This wasn't a fairy tale. It was grounded, suburban, weirdly specific. There were custody hearings, weight gain jokes, the slow panic, not knowing who you were becoming. You know, it shouldn't have worked, but it did. Scott doesn't become Santa all at once. You see, the theme of the film was so interesting. On Christmas Eve, as Santa's delivering the gifts, and if something happens to Santa, the poor individual who was nearby, perhaps caused something to happen to Santa or was there when something happens to Santa, is victim of what they called the Santa Claus. And that person becomes Santa Claus. Scott was the reluctant and unfortunate individual that was there. He grows into it, literally and emotionally. The suit doesn't fit. He's not the Santa that we recognize or that we see. He doesn't just have a beard and a belly. He doesn't have any of it. Not at first. But then it begins to reshape him. He doesn't just grow the beard. He doesn't just begin to gain weight, but he also becomes warm. The joy and the presence of Santa Claus begins to overcome him. Then there's Charlie. Charlie just doesn't believe in Santa. He also believes in his dad, even when no one else will, even when it costs him. It's a simple kind of faith. His faith showed up with wide eyes and smile and a snow globe. He loved his father and he believed in his father. And then there's the quote, "Believing is seeing." That was the marquee. That was the marketing campaign. It didn't just become the catchphrase. It became a cultural movement, a shift. It reminded us that belief isn't passive, it's a choice. And in that moment, we chose to believe again too. The Santa Claus made over $100 million at the box office on a $22 million budget. It became the highest grossing Christmas film of the year. It launched a trilogy and decades later, a Disney Plus series. But more than that, it became a December ritual. Because we weren't just watching a movie, we were watching a man rediscover joy, a child remind us what love looks like, and a world where magic was real if we were willing to see it. So, you don't have to believe in Santa Claus, but you can enjoy the moment when Santa Claus is real, no matter what age you are. It's the joy, it's the giving, it's the kindness. It's Christmas. This wasn't just a story about Santa. It was a story about becoming, about showing up, not just in a sleigh, but in life. And it reminded us that sometimes the magic isn't found by chasing it. It finds you when you finally stop running. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Legacy of Light. I thank you for coming by and spending a little time with me today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we explore more in the Legacy of Light. Take care, see you tomorrow, and have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.